It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide when you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollers.Locals.com. What is going on, everybody? Hi. I'm Stuttering Craig. Happy Wednesday to you. My, oh my, has the day gotten interesting as we are, I'll tell you what, there's so much going on. And I'll tell you what, sometimes, just sometimes, the video game world goes from batshit crazy to kangaroo shit crazy really quick. Speaking of kangaroo shit crazy, it's Blabs. Hi.
Hello. Hi. I thought you were about to say sometimes you just gotta slap a bitch, but that didn't happen. So,
No. But sometimes the video game industry does just need to be slapped up real good.
Yes.
That's what we do. Yes. You know, going back to it, people say over and over again, what is Side Scrollers? We are the awakening. We are the breath of fresh air. We are the alternative. We are the
rumbling, I guess.
That's right. We are the rumbling.
No, look, that was an anime reference and I went right over your head. It's fine.
I like anime. There you go.
Someone please turn Craig into like an anime.
Listen, nothing would make me happier than actually. I know there is an anime filter that I've used before, and I need to figure out how to use it on this camera. So maybe one day.
Boobs yesterday.
Yeah,
the show? That
I did.
I couldn't unsee it.
The normal men are wonderful in their ability. It's great. Thank you for giving me giant triple E boobs, probably larger. But
beach balls.
They were really
Awooga. Yeah.
Awooga, man. Speaking of Awooga, hey, it's from the other side of the world, straight from the land of fish and dried fish. It's Arch.
Hello. Rotten, actually. Deliberately rotted fish.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it goes past from dried to straight up disgusting very quickly. Yes. But by the way, like how rotted do you like your fish, Arch?
Lutefisk is a bit far for me, but it is a Christmas tradition here. Other people eat fancy food on Christmas. We eat rotted fish.
Ah, yes. Well, so lutefisk once again is what again?
Deliberately rotted fish, and it shows. We do sprinkle salt on it, so it doesn't like turn lethal or anything.
Right. Salt is nature's preserver. It's pretty amazing how that works out. So maybe one day.
Salt to preserve a rattlesnake skin.
Way to go, Blabs.
Yeah, it's on my wall now. I was living in California. I had to like sprinkle salt all over this dead rattlesnake. It was just a skin, by the way. Like it was all cleaned up and everything, just to get rid of the smell and everything. My roommate was not happy with me. He was like, "What the hell is this?" And it's just a snake.
I appreciate that you have snake skin on your wall.
His name is Elvis.
That's right. That's wonderful. Good for you. For you. Do you have any animal hides on your wall, Arch?
A scorpion. Does that count?
Ha!
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Very nice. All right. Oh, man. Well, look, we're going to have a great show today. Joining us in addition to Arch joins us every couple of weeks on Wednesdays, which is awesome. We are joined by Grummz today. Grummz, how are you?
I've been better.
All right. Well, look, I know you've had a very, very busy morning, and we're going to get into that very, very shortly. We appreciate you hopping on with us today, and we'll see how this all plays out today. Should be quite interesting. But with that said, I would like to remind everybody we are live. In addition to here on YouTube, we are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Do us a favor, hit the follow button over there. We have over 7,000 followers over there, growing every single day, which is awesome. And why do we love Rumble, Blabs?
Because it grows organically.
That's right, because it grows organically. You also could have found out that Arch and Grummz were going to be on the show by following us over on X. In addition, you can also watch the show over at x.com/sidescrollerpod. So make sure you hit the follow button over there. Retweet the show if you're watching it over there. We'd really appreciate that. Likes and all that stuff. See clips of the show and all sorts of good stuff. Speaking of clips, we also have an Instagram, don't we, Blabs?
We do, so follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, some sort of love and affection from Craig.
Oh, that's nice. Big bear hugs, straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes, from Craig. Only Craig.
Covered in salted fish. It'll be good.
Ew.
Yeah. We also have a Kick account if you want to watch the show over on Kick, or if you want to listen to the show on with the audio version and not stare at our stupid faces. You can find us over on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Make sure you guys give us a nice little rating over there. We'd really appreciate that, and give us a nice review. Thank you very much. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the show over here on YouTube, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and join the 81,832 subscribers. We're growing, Blabs, which is great as we creep our way closer to that 100,000 subscriber mark, which is great. Let's do our best to get to 900 likes and, of course, 25 memberships every single show. Now, look, Blabs, I would be remiss if I didn't tell everybody that this month, and this month only, the Blabs, the Tower Hard karaoke t-shirt is available right now, as well as the bucket hat only this month. If you want to hear Blabs sing, hey, there we go. This is a great way to commemorate it right there. But here's the thing, Blabs. I don't mean to rain on your parade, but I tweeted this out earlier today, and I'm going to offer this up on the show. My daughter at school, my 9-year-old daughter, created quite possibly the greatest piece of artwork I've ever seen. I saw it. I loved it.
It's cute.
And I put it on a shirt, and it looks like this. It says, let us skateboard. So it is on a shirt now, which you can pick up. And every sale for that will go to her college admissions and college and just paying for college. If that's what she decides to do, we'll just go into the college fund, which is a generic term for whatever she does for after high school. So, but yes, I literally kept the warts and all. You notice on the left-hand side, the little guy, there's an eraser and stuff. I kept all the eraser marks and everything on it. The K used to be a C because she can't spell skateboard. So I kept it all. It's great because I love it. So I've turned it into a shirt, and I was like, I'd wear that. So here we are. I'll need to get one of those for Arch and Grummz, and we'll put a little "Let Us Skateboard" shirt on Grummz's little VTuber avatar. So look, we got a lot going on. We're going to get into the news, and we do have a lot of super chats to start off and support, and we're going to get to those. But we got a lot to talk about. So before we get to Grummz and his story, Blabs, fill us in on today in gaming history.
Well, today is actually a banger, and so is tomorrow, guys. So today is May 22nd. So Pac-Man was released 44 years ago today. Final Fight is 31 years old, and Dragon's Dogma is 12 years old today. So this one, honestly, is a banger, especially because Pac-Man is 44 years old. That one hits. So.
Wow. May 22nd. Grummz, you got any favorite memories of Pac-Man? Grummz fell asleep. I think Grummz left. He's like, oh, I love those little avatars just kind of stepped away. That's awesome. What about you, Arch? Do you have any Final Fight 2 or Pac-Man memories?
As with all things in Norway, Pac-Man probably got released like 10 years later. So I've played it on an anthology cartridge for the Super Nintendo, I think, along with some Transformer game and some sort of ski jumping game.
How does it feel to know that you get all the games when they come out nowadays instead of having to wait like a decade and a half? Like in the 90s?
It's pretty great, honestly. Like I have access to, I've been rewatching like old cartoons, like Batman the Animated Series, which I never could because they were on like the classic rerun thing where you see one episode on the television and there's episode 5 after episode 1 and that kind of stuff. It's really nice to have the internet now and you can just revel in all of the entertainment.
Love it. Grummz, have you joined us? Have you rejoined us?
Yes, sorry, I was getting some coffee.
No, you know what's awesome is that you stepped away and your little VTuber avatar like got super small. It was actually kind of cute. I was asking your thoughts on Pac-Man. Today in gaming history, Pac-Man was released. Do you have any Pac-Man memories?
I sucked at Pac-Man. All my friends were good at memorizing patterns, and then I just thought I had to do it organically, and I didn't realize the trick. So it swallowed a lot of my quarters and rage.
Yeah, the manipulation of the ghost. That's something that people don't quite understand. You know, the way that game works. But have you played the perfect game like Billy Mitchell? Because he was the video game player of the century.
No, I have not.
Who really has? Maybe that's a marathon that I'll need to figure out. I'll need to figure out how to manipulate the ghost and play the perfect Pac-Man game. That'd be fun to do on the.
There used to be books like every stage, what pattern to do, and if you just memorize those, you could do well.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Just take you, a couple 100 hours.
Yeah, that's it. That's only a couple 100 hours, which is great. Well, look, appreciate everybody's support today. We're going to start off right with Gear coming in, says it's time for another hard news. And you're already throwing tomatoes and all sorts of produce at us. Easy, Gear, just relax. Tomac came in with a 10, says, so Craig, if you want to be anime, how do you feel about the film Dragon Wars? It's great. I don't know anything about it. Do you guys know anything about the film Dragon Wars? Nope. Grummz? Arch?
No, but
Nope.
All right. Sounds good. I'm not alone, Tomac. Lucifer came in as a member for 2 months. Says Arch, what is your girlfriend not? What has she been up to? Might be time to tug on a leash. Hail to the Warhammer gatekeepers. I don't know what that's a reference to, Grummz. But.
Discord drama is the best way to put it.
Okay. JM says, Craig, make a JoJo character his stand. Thank you, JM. Rimdog says, Craig would turn on the anime filter and become One Punch Man. Let's go. Give it of personality says, first they changed Bridget, then it was Vivian. Next on the trans chopping block will be everyone's favorite femboy, Stuttering Craig. Let's go. I'm coming. I already am a black trans lesbian. It's already been established here on the show. I should have
worn my maid outfit for this.
You absolutely should. Turn that up, get that on. Andrew came in, says, I love you. Thanks, Andrew. Raw 41 says, hey, Grummz, any opinion on Steam's newly leaked MOBA/hero shooter Deadlock? Should we expect excellence or be cautious about it?
I just first heard about that right now. I have no idea who's doing it.
All right. Alan came in, says, at 420 likes, Blabs, if Harry Potter smoked some pot, how many grams would Harry Potter smoke a pot? So if Harry Potter was to smoke pot, how many grams would Harry Potter smoke pot? I guess.
As many as Harry Potter wants to smoke pot.
Let him know, Blabs. Sorry, Alan. Jason became a brand new member, and so did the Asian guy. Thank you guys very much. And DB Wild also came in. It says, curious, Craig, did I make the cans too big? DB Wild gave me with giant balloon boobs yesterday. It's just thinking about trying my hand at legit VTuber avatar creation. Likely not as voluptuous. Well, DB Wild, I'm gonna, if you can tone it down a little bit. Jiggle physics are great, but not as me. That's the problem. So
why you don't like boobs on yourself?
No,
this sounds very sexist.
Yeah, it's extremely sexist. Yes.
But yeah.
And Lord J says, even though I was born in 95, Pac-Man was the first video game because all we had back then was one of those Atari plug and plays and came with like 20 classic games. Let's go, Lord J. Let's go with that. That's good stuff. And Nestrak came in and says, cheers from Denmark. Hey, let's go. Love to hear that. Thank you very much for your support there. That is great stuff. And tons of people have already come in and picked up the Blabs Karaoke shirt and the Let Us Skateboard t-shirt. Let's go. Thanks, Crazy Link. Thanks, Koa. And thanks, Kinetic, for picking those up. That is outstanding. We do have some great direct donations, which I'll be reading those in just a little bit. But we're going to get into it today, guys. We're going to go hard. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. All right. So look, we could pussyfoot around and do some quick hits to start the show, or we could just jump right in the deep end. And I think we should probably just jump right in the deep end today. as we have Arch here, and Arch has been surrounded by some fun stuff going on in his space, and we're definitely going to get to that very shortly. But I do want to go first to Grummz and the post that you posted earlier today. And I just want to pull that up right now, and I'll let you kind of talk about it. So Grummz, the floor is yours.
Well, obviously I'm pretty upset right now, so I gotta go slow. It's not gonna be my usual rah-rah self. But I got doxed, and my family got doxed. And this is from a Discord run by a paid Discord. You have to pay to join it, run by Nick Calandra, former editor-in-chief of The Escapist. And he's basically he calls himself a journalist, right? And I guess he, after The Escapist, he founded a YouTube channel called Second Wind, and they have a Patreon that pulls in an enormous amount of money. And he has well over 10,000 members, 13,000, something like that. So he has been tweeting about me nonstop for 2 months, and I don't talk about this guy, right? But he's got some kind of hate boner for me, and he's been tweeting about me every day or every other day, trying to go after me. So much so that he got exposed for publishing false information from a sting operation that one of my supporters did. But he's been asking people on his Discord to send him information about me, personal information and company information, both. And they have, and thousands of his supporters on Discord have been trying to find everything they can about me and posting it, and his moderators are encouraging it. Well, one of the supporters, a couple of them ended up posting multiple addresses and information about anybody with a name similar to mine, but they got some hits, including address of my family. And that person then edited their own post to say, hey, this is Nick's secret. But he only did that. And yeah, Meadows the Panda. And he only did that after that address was out there in the open for thousands of people on this Discord to see. And he was not punished. The moderators said nothing. In fact, they said this is the most fun they've had. And they openly... This is infuriating. They openly celebrated this. The mods encouraged it. Nick went on to encourage it. He said, hey, he didn't ban this person. He didn't take any action. He said, hey, if you find this stuff, feel free to DM it to me. But yeah, any personal details or anything like that, don't post it here. So he wants that information. He's encouraging them to dig it up. And he wants it sent to him because he knows it's a Discord violation. And he doesn't want to get banned from Discord. But he's weaponized his entire user base against me. This is 13,000 people. And he calls me a grifter, but he's earning $54,000 a month attacking me, okay, from his Patreon. And he does nothing about it. He lets this go on. He lets all this information out there. And there are death threats against me, okay? There are well-documented bounties on my head. $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And these platforms do fucking nothing. This stuff gets reported and they do nothing. And journalists do it and they do nothing. And there are no repercussions. And this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. And I'm furious. It has put me in literal danger. It has put my family in literal danger. And there is, I have no idea how to report this. I have no idea how to report this to Discord or to YouTube, his YouTube channel, or to his Patreon, where he earns $54,000 a month coming after me. What the fuck?
Well, I think it would be
sorry.
fair.
I'm very angry. But let me just say this.
Yes.
This is wrong. And I always say, do not harass these people. Certainly do not dox them. They have never said that about me. Ever.
Okay, so
That I am. don't do it.
So shortly after you posted your post, Nick came out, and we're doing a little, you said, he said here. Now, no, well, we're going to talk about how video game journalism is, it's fallen on its face with IGN acquiring all these companies and stuff. But I had to do a little bit of video game journalism work this morning, and I'm going to share some of the conversation that I had with Nick via DM. He said it's okay if I share that, because I had to ask him questions based off everything. But first, I want to read his public statement. So he said, his public statement was, Mark Kern is accusing me of doxing him now, but no such thing has ever happened. His address was never shared in our Discord. A public LinkedIn account was, along with public business filings records for Grummz Labs LLC. I'm guessing that's your company?
Yes.
Okay. Was that public knowledge before just
Look,
now?
Everything is public knowledge.
Right.
Everybody's information is out there. Unless you use a data scrubbing service, anyone can pay $20 and get the information on anybody. Personal address is included. Just because it's out there on the net doesn't mean it's right to post it. And he claims this is a company filing. Has it occurred to him that a small indie company may not have a corporate office and that might be a home? Has it even occurred to him? He just doxed me again by tweeting that. Fuck that guy.
He continues. He says, the out of context post they're pointing out as me taking down is for the Grummz Labs filing as its public record, but it didn't need to be in our Discord, so I had them removed. I have zero personal information.
Let me correct that.
Sure.
Discord does not allow you to edit someone else's message, even if you are a moderator. Okay? I looked into this. The person who doxed me later edited it. He took zero action. No bans, no warnings, no suspensions. Just thank you. Send me fucking more. Just DM it to me so I don't get banned.
I see some people in the chat, they're saying, hey, you need to get a PO box. And I think what those people don't understand is that when you register a business, you literally cannot register a business through a PO box, which I think is a massive hole when it comes to specifically that's an outdated form of business registry.
You can't do that. You have to put a street address on there. And look, there is no way for me. Nick just doxed me again, right on X. And because he has me blocked, there is no way for me to report that. How do I do that, Elon? How do I report this guy who's doxing me right now on your platform? I want to know.
He continues. He says, as for his quote receipts, it's all right there. I specifically said I had no interest in his personal details, just business details. He can play the victim all he wants, including contacting authorities. If so, pleases, but as no personal information as his was shared.
Look, people have been canceled, deplatformed for less. People have on Twitch streams put a bounty on my head for $30,000. When is this going to stop? Where do we draw the line?
Do you feel that, and we've had this conversation several times on the show, do you feel like those threats were credible? Or I'll just
I believe the first one was.
The 20,000?
The first one was the 10,000. And then after that, I believe that the others were in joke. But listen, where do we normalize these jokes? Where do they lead? Death threat jokes, okay? I don't think death threat jokes are ever okay. Look what happened to Jeremy, the quartering. He had death threat jokes. He had violence jokes. And the person who made the joke punched him, sucker punched him from the back at a con. And what did the convention do? Did they hold that person accountable? No, they banned Jeremy from the conference. When is this going to stop? This leads to real violence. We know it leads to real violence. And Nick is complicit in encouraging it. He has not banned that user. If he felt that was wrong, why didn't he ban him? Why isn't he taking any single fucking action?
So I asked him, I said, you personally, okay, and this is our conversation via DM. I'm going to read it verbatim just so everybody is on the same page. He said, dude, read the receipts he has. It's clear as day nothing personal was shared about him in any form. We wouldn't allow that to happen in any form on our Discord. I responded, I said, you personally didn't.
He just did on Twitter. He just did. Fuck that guy.
When you say, and then, okay, let's get a little clarity here. When you say doxing, right, you mean your personal address or your location? What specifically do you mean by that, Grummz?
Where people live, where family lives.
You mean the general area?
Where people... No, it was more than that. In the link he posted, it's more than that.
Okay. And he's saying it's all public. He's saying it's public
street address.
A street address with numbers on it.
Look, it's all public. You can get any information you want on anybody for $20 through data brokers. Okay? And even though when this all started, I started to sign up for data brokers, it takes 60 to 90 days for them to scrub that. Just because it's out on the internet isn't right to encourage people to post it when there are death threats against that person. That is completely irresponsible.
I don't think anybody disagrees.
That is reprehensible. That is inciting violence. They love to say, oh, by putting a sexy woman in Stellar Blade, you're literally going to get women killed. This motherfucker is trying to get me killed.
So I followed up. I pushed him a little bit. I said, so just to confirm, you're saying his address was never posted and no personal information, phone numbers, family info, etc., has been listed on your Discord. His response, correct. No personal, nothing personal was ever shared. It was ever shared in our Discord about Mark Kern.
That's wrong.
He said the quote
That's
secret.
Wrong. That's wrong.
Let me continue.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to entertain this anymore. I'm curious. I need to take action. I have to call the police now and let them know that I might be swatted. Okay? I have to contact all my family members and let them know. This is completely irresponsible. I will not platform him, Craig. I'm sorry. I will not entertain his DM anymore because of what he did. The gloves are off. Okay? The gloves are off. This guy has been stalking me for almost 2 months, tweeting about me nonstop. When do I mention him? I barely talk about it. I think I've made 3 tweets about him in the whole time. One was when he was so rabid to get me that he fell for a sting operation that one of my supporters, who also was the one who revealed this dox, by the way, supported by the name of Gigabear, he went undercover into the Discord to discover this, okay? And he also set up a sting against Nick where he published what seemed to be damning information. And before Nick verified it, Nick ran with it. But what he didn't know was that it was a sting, and that if he had half a brain cell, he could have realized that the name of the person reporting it was an anagram for urinalist. Okay? That's how rabid he was. And he actually sent back. He said, look, I need confirmation before I can publish this. But he never heard back. So you know what he did? He ran with it. That's the first thing he did. And he was revealed to be a fraud then. And he has tweeted about me nonstop. And now he's come after me. And he's irresponsibly weaponized an entire Discord of thousands of people against me. And he's encouraging them to send him privately information about me, both private and public information. He wants it all. But he doesn't want anything private posted in public on the Discord because he knows that that will get him deplatformed from Discord in a heartbeat. But what he doesn't know is by posting that company information, he has posted the home address of family. And he continues to double down. This is the behavior that they accuse us of doing that they never can prove. And when we have proof, they say, I am a journalist. This is public information. Well, it's all public. $20. You can get anything you want. Anything.
So obviously you're not, I mean, it goes without saying, you're saying do not counter this by any means. It's your job to take the next step. And you're saying the next step for you
as
is
furious as I am.
Mm-hmm.
Do not harass this guy. Tell me how I can file a legitimate report, because I don't know how to file a report against someone who's blocked me, the fucking coward who blocks me and doxes me and goes after me every day, hides behind a block, and earns $54,000 a month doing it. Tell me how I'm supposed to fight that. Don't go after him. Do not dox anyone. Do not put that person in the same danger that that person has so carelessly and recklessly put me in. Don't go to that level. He's scum. Don't be scum.
So what will be your next step? Are you talking to a lawyer? Are you?
I'm furious. I have no idea. This is come to light, and I'm going to bring it down now. I need to calm down. But obviously, I am calling on X to deplatform him. I am calling on Discord to ban his Discord server, which is full of this information and the encouragement by the moderators and praise. Most fun I've had, they said. Most fun I've had. Let's keep doing it. Yeah, that's got to stop. I'm calling on YouTube to deplatform him. And I'm calling on Patreon to deplatform him. A person should not earn $54,000 a month going after people. That's not right.
Well, we have
as far as legal options, I have no idea. I have not spoken to an attorney. You know, up until 5 minutes ago, Nick didn't directly post my information, but he just did. And he, I would advise him to take it down if he's watching right now, that he should immediately take that information, because there's family location there. Okay? And do the right thing, Nick. Do the right thing and ban these users. Stop encouraging them to dig up dirt for your personal vendetta. I've done nothing to you. I don't tweet about you. I've done nothing to you. Stop it. That's what I'm asking him to do. And if users are upset, they can help me by figuring out how I can file reports, because I don't know how and what type of documentation I need. And my DMs are open. You can follow me at Grummz. You can subscribe to me for my game library, which might turn into a legal fund at this point. Who knows? But please don't go after these people and don't do anything illegal, And I'm going to say it again. Don't harass them.
Let me ask you a larger question. This is actually for everybody, right? We've seen things elevate in the last few weeks, few months in the video game space. Obviously, things kind of turned up a little bit about 8 weeks ago. 10 weeks ago with the Sweet Baby stuff that came out, and that kind of raised the temperature a little bit. And we saw the Kotaku blogger reach out to a YouTuber's wife, and then she got upset because she got she got it back.
She claims she got doxed. She didn't post receipts. I posted receipts. They never have receipts. Right. They always say this happens, and they never have receipts. I have receipts, and I'm so furious. I'm sharing them.
So how do y'all feel we got to this point? Is this just
tweeting over video games, man?
Right.
Tweeting over video games because it's against the message. It's against the message, and these people are losing. And as they lose, they're resorting to more and more desperate illegal measures in order to try to win. Try to impose their ideology against all of us. Try to prevent free thinking. Try to prevent informed consumers. You know what they did to Cabrutus' site? They DDoS'd him again, twice. I just tweeted about that this morning before I made my post about the doxing. They're going after Cabrutus. They're going after me for telling consumers that these games have DEI and you may not want to buy them. You may want to make an informed decision. And meanwhile, they are so desperate. They are not only doxing us, they are not only trying to attack us every single day from behind a cowardly block, they are retconning history. They are altering wikis for Warhammer. They are altering wikis for historical figures like Yasuke and trying to make a fiction reality in front of our very eyes. Everyone needs to wake up to this.
Arch, you've been deplatformed recently, without even being on a platform. you were removed from a server without even trying to get on the server, I suppose. Have you had any what's the most extreme measure taken from you within the Warhammer community? You're kind of an outlier. I don't know. What's your take on all this?
What do you mean? Action taken?
Well, have you had anybody go to the links that people trying to find your personal information, anything along those lines?
Oh yeah, no. Well, the thing is, I'm a little bit of a special case because I'm Norwegian. My government doxes me yearly, as all of my tax information is public. Because that's how Norway works. But I've had people dox me, absolutely. I have had people try to report me to the police for hate speech, publicly tagging in the Norwegian Police Special Services. And I have been called by my local police office, station, is that the word?
Yeah.
Who basically called me up and says, like, hey, we're receiving weird complaints about you. I'm like, okay, what kind of complaints? Well, that's technically, we're not allowed to tell you that. Okay. Well, I'm involved in some internet drama right now. Could that explain it? And they're like, probably. So I have been involved with some of this stuff, but nothing in an organized fashion like this. Mostly for me, it was random Redditors and Reddit posts on Reddit, rather than an individual running what seems to be a Discord organization looking for private information.
So you've been on the on both sides, or on that side of it as well, where people have. So
I haven't been on the doxing side yet.
Well, right, but the vile side of it, the vile side of it, where people have really kind of started to dig into you a little bit because you disagree or they disagree with something that you said or done along the way.
The receiving end, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What about this? It's gotten crazy, right? 2 months ago, Cabrutus starts this website called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. And all it is a Steam curator group that says these games have DEI as claimed by the consulting company Sweet Baby Inc. on their very own website. And he doesn't say anything except he puts the thumbs down, not recommended by it, right?
Right.
And this set off the insanity, okay? This set off the utter insanity. And where I got the most hate was my petition to free Stellar Blade, which, by the way, we're in the last week. People are going to say I shill. I make no money off this. In fact, I got to pay to get it printed and sent to offices, right? So when I had this petition to say, hey, this company made claims that their game is uncensored, but it's provable that they censored their game. And the amount of death threats I got just for that was insane. And that amped it up another level. And then I started, along with Arch and everyone else, highlighting what was going on in gaming around us with DEI and wokeness, right? And we talked about Warhammer. We talked about 40K and the Femstodes controversy, right? That got me a lot of hate. That got Arch a lot of hate. Arch is what? You're a forbidden term among GW employees? Is that what it is?
I am. Yes, they can't talk about me.
Yeah, and you can't talk about me in Helldivers Discord now, because I pointed out how inept their community management was, right? You can't mention my name there now, too. They are actively trying to excise us for talking about it, right? For talking about what they're doing and just retweeting what they say publicly on social media. And then we got death threats, right? You know, I think I got death threats during the Stellar Blade thing, right? And that's when the $10,000 bounty was put on my head. And the and then the jokes came, and then now it's up to 20, now it's up to 30, then 50, then 100, right? But this type of normalization of calling for someone's death as a joke is okay is not okay, right? And this leads to actual violence. And now we're at somebody who's got such a hate boner, who has a huge platform, huge YouTube channel, $54,000 a month on Patreon, who can't stop tweeting about me every day. And now he's gone as far as to actually publish family dresses. And he just did on Twitter. I can say that now because according to your DM, and you can confirm this, he posted that link, right?
That is his post that he put live on Twitter, which I'll pull up right now. This is the post that he posted here. He's talking about it here, the business filings.
Well, he actually linked it to a site called 6 Cents or Sense 6, something like that, which is a corporate data site. And so
I do have that pulled up.
If that happened, and I'm not saying it did because I don't have the tweet handy. If that happened, he just doxed me. Okay. And not only that, he's doing nothing to discourage this. They talk about how you have to be responsible for your platform. You have to, police your followers, all this stuff. But he's actually encouraging this. He's saying, send it to me, send it to me, send it to me, over and over. Oh, it's private? Send that to me too. Just don't post it publicly. Right? And does he ban these users? Does he discourage them in any way? No. And they're on his Discord. So, so we are now at a point where we've gone from a Steam curator list with no defamatory information, just factual information about consumer choices, which they don't want you to have. So much so that today, that website is under DDoS attack and they doxed me. Okay? That's where we are today. And you know what? They're going to gaslight us. They're going to say that we're the ones doing this, when it's plain to see that they are.
Why do you feel that you become such a target?
I have no clue. I reluctantly stepped into this. I said, when Cabrutus's list first went up, I tried to backpedal from it. I wouldn't talk about it. I said, there's this list, whatever. Because I knew if I stepped in it, this would be the reaction. Because I saw what they did in Gamergate 1 to other people, right? And I saw nobody else talking about this. And I remember what really galvanized me was Elon's tweet saying that the woke mind virus is a threat to civilization, right? Something along those lines. And that's when I said, I need to do something. I need to speak out. I need to talk about this stuff. And I do games. So even though this is a problem that's far wider than games, I'm going to talk about games. And for some reason, they lost their minds. They lost their minds when I did that. And people started following me. And there was someone else trying to ride a publicity wave here. That was Alyssa Mercante, right? She went on the talk shows thing. She tried to drum support. And the tide has turned. People don't want to listen to that. They're tired of the woke stuff. And that's why I started to get popular. And the more popular I get, the more of a target I was, for some reason, to these ridiculous lengths, bounties, death threats, doxing over video games. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about, how I feel about the woke mind virus and what it's doing to civilization. I don't talk about elections. And people have defaced my Wikipedia over and over again. This has just been ridiculous. And it's because they're losing. It's because they're losing and they know it. That's why it's gotten to this length. Because what's at stake here is more than games. What's at stake here is their grip, their death grip over ideology and the masses. And they want this. They want this badly. And they will do anything to get it. And they don't care who dies. Look at Ed. What is it? Ed Piskor? Is that his name?
The
comics guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He self-deleted from, these false allegations, these trumped up allegations against him. And then they celebrated afterwards. Look, when the earthquake hit Taiwan, and I have family there. They celebrated too. My Twitter feed was full of people saying, "Oh, wow, I hope they get it. I hope they're buried under rubble." Okay? Because it's what's more at stake here. It's not just games. We're fighting for civilization, right? I pick games because that's my bailiwick. That's where I can make a difference. But, and it's just disgusting, the lengths that they'll go through. And for years we've been told that we're the ones that doing this. But here they are out in the open, and we always have receipts, and they never have receipts.
Have you reached out to Nick personally to try to figure out, like, I mean,
he's got me blocked, and personally, I have no intention of talking to him. Here's the mistake that people make. People believe that you can reason in good faith. People believe that if you just present the facts and make your point, you can shake hands and go along the way. Mm-hmm. And in Gamergate 1, I thought this too. I reached out to reporters. I had an open letter to reporters about the situation in GG1, and then I saw them completely ignore it, completely refuse to publish my articles where they used to publish me, and then start lying about the facts, not reporting on the bomb threats that were phoned in to the GG side. I was watching it happen in real time, and I was amazed. And they take advantage of that. They know that you're fair. They know that you're reasonable. And they use that as a wedge to get into your communities and to turn the whole hobby against you. And there is no reasoning with Nick. Look, this guy has tweeted about me nonstop for 2 months. I have done nothing to him. Nothing, zero. But he's made it his mission, okay, to go after me, to go after my family, to go after my career, to go after my business, because I tweet about Stellar Blade, because I tweet about Warhammer in ways that he doesn't like. There's no reasoning with that, Craig. I'm sorry.
Right. Do you?
Here's the mistake. It's a long-winded thing. People don't realize that they are in a war until it's too late. Okay? Like, people don't realize what's at stake and how far these people will go until it's too late. So for the Warhammer community, for example, yeah, this is femstoties, right? If you don't speak up now, it'll be too late. You have to realize that this is not something that can be reasoned with. This is an ideology that wants to be imposed. And if you don't realize you're in a war, you will be taken advantage of.
Just for the record, I just did a quick glance at you mentioned Nick tweeting about you, and I just did a quick search on advanced X search here, and you can see these are all tweets that have been from his account about you in the last however long it's been. So obviously you've been a very hot topic for him over the last several months. Have you?
It's a sickness. How do you hate someone so much that you're a video game journalist? You're supposed to be reporting on games, but your Twitter feed is daily about one person. I'm not that important. I'm sorry. I'm not that important to the gaming community, and all the while they call me irrelevant. But this guy will call me irrelevant in one breath. But he cannot stop tweeting about me every single day. The same thing with Mercante. Mercante tweets about me constantly, right? Misspelling my name, so she doesn't give me undue attention, right? How sick do you have to be that obsessed with someone that you tweet about them every day? This is Grummz derangement syndrome, okay? This is GDS. This is a sickness, and these people are sick, and they are hateful. And they are malicious, and this has to stop.
So apparently Nick is in the chat. I know you said your next course
if you platform Nick, I'm leaving.
I got you. And we'll look, we're gonna get it. And I'm not offering to bring him on right now, right? He has tweeted that from this, people have then gone on and posted his family members' names and things like that in the last 30 minutes or so. And
don't do that, Nick. When have you ever asked people not to do that? I ask people that all the time. When have you ever had a backbone and said, this is wrong, don't do this to this person in your own Discord? Have you banned that user yet, by the way? Nick, have you banned that guy that doxed me? Oh, you haven't. Interesting. Very interesting. Don't go after Nick. Okay? All this information is public. Doesn't mean you should post it. That's wrong. I condemn that. Do you condemn it, Nick? Where's your fucking response? Okay? And I don't want to hear it here. I want to hear an apology on Twitter. Here's what you can do, Nick. Get off your obsession with me. Get off your hunt. Get off your encouragement and incitement of doxing and harassment of me, of my family. Apologize. Retract. Delete the dox that you have on me before it gets reported by me. Walk it back, dude. It's not too late. Be the bigger guy. But will you? No, because I think you're scum.
Craig, you muted.
I just wanted to add a little bit of suspense to my question. I think it'd only be fair to ask the same question back. Do you feel like there's anything that you need to walk back at all? As far as your conversation online or anything like that?
Look, everything I post is just what people post on social media, right? They make a tweet, I retweet it. I have nothing to walk back. I have never called for the harassment of people. I've done the opposite time and again on your stream, on Twitter, on other people's streams. I'm asking for the same courtesy, one which I know he will not extend, but it's not too late. You can still do it. You do it, I'll shake your hand. Walk it back. Walk it back. Walk back the doxing and the attack dogs and the incitements to violence and the constant tweeting about me. You can end it right now, today. All right? And I'll end it right now, today. I'll shake your hand. But you won't, because you're sick. You're sick in the head, Nick, and you need help.
All right. Is there anything? I feel like we've covered this pretty well. Is there anything that you want to close with before we move on, or would you rather? Obviously you're pretty fired up, and rightfully so. You're very passionate about it. Anytime you're dealing with family situations. Did you want to step away and kind of think about what you wanted to do, or do you want to stick with us a little bit longer? Or is there anything you wanted to close with? Like I said, more than anything, I just wanted to, provide you with an outlet to say what you wanted to say and how you wanted to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I promised to talk about different topics on the stream before this came up, and I'd like to honor my obligations. I am fired up, but I still think, hey, look, if Nick is really the good guy he claims to be, this is his chance. I'm open, Nick. Unblock me, apologize, and we can move on. And if you don't, then I'm pretty much convinced you're scum.
Just out of curiosity, do you have Nick blocked as well?
I do not have him blocked. No, I may now. Let me double check. I didn't block anybody until you know what? After this stream, I'll do it. But I mean, everyone sends me his tweets. So if he makes a public apology and he starts banning people in Discord and disciplining these people that are publishing information about me, I have a 24-hour rule on people. You turn it around 24 hours, I'll shake your hand. It's gone too far, Nick. Nick, I think it's time to realize it's gone too far, and to be a decent human being and walk it back, dude. So yeah, I'll stick around for topics. I think that if we have you guys fill in for a little bit, I can get another coffee, gather myself, and we can continue with this.
Yeah, take a step back. Take a step back, and when you come back on, take a breath, and we'll continue on. We got some more stuff to cover with Arch. Arch has been a trooper here, just hanging out with us as we've been going through all this. So take a step back, go back to backstage, and we'll bring you back on when you come back in. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, absolutely. All right. So obviously, that's crazy and a crazy situation, and it's one of those things where I'm gonna actually bring Grummz back here. And there we go. And when he comes back, we'll continue on. So We appreciate everybody popping in. If it's your first time tuning in, do us a favor. We try to keep, as crazy as it seems, we actually we have opinions about things, but I try to see things from all sides, right? And this is a, I would much rather talk with people, but people we got to make sure that everybody wants to talk, right? So that's one of the most important things. So, yeah, with that said, let's go and move on to some other quick hits here, and then we'll get into some other topics, including the Nintendo thing with the character and all that stuff that's going on. Arch, how you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Blabs, how are you?
I'm okay.
Take a breath.
Yeah, working.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So there we go. I've been told to grow a backbone in the chat. I don't understand what that means, because I feel like I did a pretty okay job right there. But like I said, whatever. Thanks, Tiger King. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and move on to some quick hits. And when Grummz comes back, we'll hit on the some bigger stories. Hey, Arch, you like the Alien movies?
I don't mind. I've had to rewatch them for another thing recently, and they still hold up very well to this day.
All right. Hold on. Let me take a step back really quick. People are saying get Nick on. I don't think it would be productive to bring Nick on right now. Right?
It would not. Tempers are far too high. You're making the correct decision, because as you say, you like people talking with each other. There would be no talking right now. They would be shouting.
And to be clear, I am totally open to having Nick on, but now is not the right time, and everybody knows this. This is not the Jerry fucking Springer show. All right? I'm not doing this shit. So you guys tell me to grow a backbone. How about you guys be fucking men and realize when the time is right? All right? Just be normal men and realize when the time is right. And now is obviously not the right time. With that said, I would love to hear Nick's perspective on this. When that is, maybe as early as tomorrow. I don't know. I'll reach out to him and we may have him on. But with that said, I am all about hearing all perspectives, but we all understand this is not the right time. So, all right, let's go to continue. So, okay. So, Arch, there's a new Alien movie coming out. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this was coming out?
No, but I'm not surprised. We are in the era of... See, the charitable interpretation would be recycling old settings. The slightly more optimistic and realistic might be simply just ravaging old settings. Right. And I think I don't know anything about this movie outside of what I'm looking at here with this picture. Speaking of ravaging old settings, it definitely has the appearance of classic Alien, I would say. You got your strong female lead with the big old gun. You got smoky stuff and crazy lighting and stuff. I don't know. Blabs, have you ever seen the Alien movies?
No, I haven't, because I am afraid and I'm a wuss. But I gotta say, I had no idea this movie was even being made until I saw this tweet on Twitter the other day. I was like, what? Another remake? So that's where I'm at. I have no interest in this whatsoever, since I haven't even seen the first one. She
is wearing some nice kicks from
she's walking the 90s style, I gotta say.
Right. I'll tell you, the first Alien movie was very very dramatic. It was like a horror movie. The second movie was like action. It was like Terminator 2. It was awesome. It was great. So anyways, new Alien coming soon. By the way, when Grummz returns, just have him post in the chat. I for some reason my private chat isn't working right now. I don't think so. Just keep an eye on that, Blabs. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is kind of interesting. As X, this is from Dexerto. As we fly through some quick hits here, X has revealed that likes will soon be private for all users. I think this is a stupid ass decision. Some people love this. What's your thoughts on this, Arch?
Divided. On the one hand, I think it's idiotic that we now have removed upvotes and downvotes from practically anything. I'm sure YouTube will soon to follow.
Right.
On the other hand, a lot of people, we've just had Grummz on, a lot of drama, right? Well, a lot of people will go through your likes and see if you are liking the correct thing or the incorrect thing and use that as an opportunity to harass and try to cancel people. So I get the argument which they're making here, which is that the like button has essentially been weaponized as a part of the witch hunt. But at the same time, like, God, we have degraded so much as a society. It's like, why are we removing the like button? Well, you see, people are hunting other people down because of what they like on the internet. Like, oh, okay. Well,
right.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with Arch. I think it's crazy. And the people who ruin it for everyone, they're the blame to this. This is the only reason why this is happening, because people just can't be respectful human beings on the internet anymore.
Yes.
Right.
Ironically, yes.
And it's amazing that something as simple as a thumbs up, which, by the way, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you're watching over on YouTube, or if you're watching us over on X, make sure you hit the heart or repost button. We'd really appreciate that. And same thing with you guys over on Rumble, because hey, I think Rumble still has a thumbs down button. Do they? They do. They do have a thumbs down button over there. Yeah. So, you know, whatever you want to do, just hit that button, because we're not big old pussy bitches, and we will take the thumbs down if it comes, and it comes hard. That sounded dirty. Either way, sorry, X. You wonder if they'll remove the like the retweet or repost button in addition to the likes.
No, I think that'll stay, because that boosts the algorithm. People get paid from all the interaction. They want the farming, don't they? That's how they get their money.
Yes. Complete agree. They can't remove that because it's engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, another quick hit here. Did you guys see in Portugal that meteor that went down through the sky? Did you see that insanity over the weekend, Arch?
I'm hoping this was a meteor that wiped out Portugal. Am I lucky?
Wow. Okay, tell us how you feel about Portugal. But I want to point out that Craig literally just said the meteor that went through in the sky. Like, what other meteor is there? The one below the surface of the Earth?
No, we see meteors in space all the time. Blabs. I'm saying through the sky in our atmosphere.
Anyway, it's fine.
Yes. All right. Well, anyways, there was lots of video of it being popped off around social media, and the one that's been the most viral of them is these ducks. These ducks. This is really pretty cool looking. Check this out, Arch, especially since you haven't seen it yet. Look at this meteor entering the atmosphere, and they're guessing that it burnt up, but the sky lights up, and they're just like, "What the hell happened?"
Check that out. Peak Twitch content. Peak. This is what Twitch should be about. No more e-thoughts, just ducks looking at the sky. That's it.
Just to be clear, you said ducks, not docs. just. I know, I'm just playing. It's wordplay on the show. What's the, you know, I love space. I think space is fascinating. Arch, are you a big space guy? Do you think that, I don't know, you think that there's things out there, there's aliens and stuff in space that are out there?
Well, yes, I have a theory why we haven't seen any.
And tell me more.
This came to me whilst I was playing Power Wash Simulator of all things.
Okay.
Chat was torturing me with the third in the line of like 5-hour Power Wash Simulator streams. And in the midst of my derangement, I realized why we haven't heard from the aliens. It's because we've been developing robots recently and AI and stuff. You know about that? Well, all of the aliens, being far more advanced than us, because, you know, space travel is hard, they all invented sex bots and just fucked themselves into death. And that's why we haven't heard from them. All of them are dead. They just wiped themselves out.
Wait, you're telling me the aliens invented sex bots and then fucked themselves to death?
Yep, they just bred themselves into extinction.
Wow. What I have, that's the first time I've heard that theory, and I'm not going to lie.
That's why there are no spaceship, because it's harder to build a spaceship than a sex bot, so there you go.
This is not what I had on my bingo card when Arch was going to be on the show today. Like, I always expect some, like, you know, Arch is very eloquent, and then all of a sudden, fucking in space.
The aliens and fucking bots, man.
I didn't have that today. Didn't guess.
I love it. Oh, Sunjat says you should ask Arch about the AI uprising. Well, I think we all see how it's coming, but tell us more, Arch.
Oh, well, the AI uprising. Now, there's a wide topic. But no, unironically, we I mean, look at society today, right? Look at how quickly we are degrading into straight up Kuma consumerism. If we invented an actual robot capable of replacing human interaction, do you think we'd survive that?
Come on. No, humans are lazy as shit. Humans
exactly.
are lazy. Yeah.
We invent a robot with a fleshlight, we are screwed, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing hardcore. Going as crazy as you want with that.
Say hard, huh? I get it.
Okay. I said hardcore blabs. Hardcore. Yeah. Nice. All right. Hey, you know what's also nice? Matthew came in with a $50 Canadian super chat. Hey, Arch, you get to pick the color today. We got a brand new wall, which is exciting. And I'm going to pull yellow off because I don't want 2 columns of yellow next to each other. What color should go on the wall today, buddy?
I like teal.
Teal or blue?
Or blue, depending upon the camera resolution, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's blue. Well, I was going to read that off for Matthew.
All right. Matthew, thank you for the Canadian 50. He says, Blobs is correct, but we should be more respectable on the internet, all of us on both sides. I feel like everybody as a whole should practice a little more compassion and kindness. Yes, I agree. Internet has completely detrimental to compassion and sympathy. It's just like everyone's just meaner and grumpier and angrier now.
Social media, man.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
I said this on Monday. And I stand by that. Like, take the weekend off, y'all. Like, don't just get off social media. Get off Twitter. Get off X. Get off Facebook. Get off YouTube. Just get it all. I mean, like, we still post shit, but it's all automated, right? We because we know people are out there. But get out there, touch that fucking grass, man. It really does good for you. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that. That is spectacular. Also, Ian came in with 10 gifted memberships. Hey, we got 10 new men. 10 new men to the channel. Let's go, Ian. Thank you very much. If you guys got a gifted membership, make sure you say thank you very much and consider paying it forward.
You have to it's Ian.
Ooh. There we go. And not to be outdone, Unreal Shamsa has come in with a $1,000 direct donation.
Damn. Do you know what time it is?
I know what time it is. It's time for developers.
Yeah.
Developers.
Yes. Crowns in the chat for Shamsa, please. Also a bunch of developers emotes. Thank you.
Show me Steve Ballmer. Show me Stevie.
I love it. It's just a whole bunch of Steves.
Hey, Shamsa, that is incredibly amazing. And I got to be honest, like, it's honestly really amazing because of the conversations that we're having here. And, you know, sometimes these conversations can get contentious. They can be fiery, but we're talking about things that nobody else wants to talk about. We're talking about things that need to be talked about, and we're trying to bridge gaps as crazy as that may sound. So, you know, Shamsa, thank you very much. That is spectacular. Let's go knock out a few other super chats before we move on to another story here. Mr. Tech Rat says that's a wizard's weed. Thank you very much. Kyle came in and says Taylor Swift might join the MCU as Dazzler.
Heard. Listen, anything but Taylor Swift, I'm just not interested anymore. And the worst thing is, it's like there are an actual cult of Swifties. I don't understand why. Like, I don't really hate Taylor Swift. I don't really listen to her music, but I think she has a nice voice, but I think she's incredibly overrated and whatever that is. But why are we having cults of Swifties? I hate it. They're ruining the internet for me. Stop it.
She's a you know, cute blonde who can sing. And she's rich as fuck. Like, why would like young girls not want to emulate that? You know, it's crazy. And like all the soccer moms, that's what they wish they could be. You know, this super talented, crazy psycho who
it's ruining my Instagram feed. It used to be so fun, full of memes, and all of a sudden Taylor Swift. I'm like, but no.
But no.
Let me look at my memes.
Arch, you got any thoughts on Taylor Swift?
Not a one.
Nope. Nope. Do you think she'd be a great Dazzler? Because that's the rumor. She'd be Dazzler in the new Deadpool movie.
I mean, she's the right hair color, and for once in recent MCU history, she, I believe, is also the correct skin color. So that's a rarity.
Point. Yeah.
2 out of 2.
Yay!
Love it. There you go. I actually think that she'd make a pretty. I mean, from a visual standpoint, she actually looks like she could make a pretty good Dazzler. You know, so
she's not ugly. Like, I won't shit on her looks ever, Taylor Swift, because I think she is a beautiful woman. But it's like, please go away now. Go away. Just
Blabs is gay for Taylor Swift.
I am not gay for Taylor Swift. I am not interested in that woman. Thank you.
Stop being so gay, Blabs.
What are you gay?
Why are you gay? All right, Blabs, keep reading off some super chats real quick while I put our big pickle on the screen. Shamsa.
This one's actually for Grummz. We'll probably bring that up later. Let's see. Mercenary says, it is never going to stop till it backs our R2 wall. Thank you, Mercenary. Let's see if there's any like non for Grummz in case he wants to ask anything. Scarfy says, I'd rather watch Chrome Lords. Thank you very much, Scarfy. I love Scotch. Great name. Says, real men would be now. Okay, thank you for that. Tech support. Okay, that's for another one. Hang on. Let's see. Lord J says, Arch is right. Portugal knows what it did. What did it do? What did it do?
Portugal is just a terrible place.
I hear it's lovely, but all right.
Wrong,
Clemson says, ducks are greater than Mazda. This is also true. Master Gawa says, make no mistake, leftists hate anyone who exposes or stands in the way of their agenda. They are not joking about wanting to erase our existences. Journals would end you for the agenda as we play fair. Thank you very much, Master Gawa. Rebound says, in other words, behavioral sync. I believe it. Thank you, Rebound. DB says, funny what happens to AI in Dune in 40K. Thank you, DB. This one's for you. Did Arch recover from PTSD of playing the one Finn on the Japanese side in that World War II game?
Yes. Thank you for asking.
All right. Chris B says, FYI, Twitter likes won't be going away, I think. Just a public showing of who likes what tweets. In my this is best. The loons use them to attack others. Yeah, so that way they still keep their engagement and everything. They still get revenue. It just doesn't show publicly.
Okay. I see. So, well, okay.
It's
so
kind
people
of a safety feature, kind of, but like the point that we're there is a stupid reason.
Okay, so it's not that they're going to be removing the likes. It's that they're removing that it's going to show up on your profile that you liked this post.
I think so.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I'm pretty sure, like, because I don't have Twitter Blue, I thought that, like, you could actually hide stuff if you had, like, Twitter Blue or Premium or whatever. Because if I go to my account, it says your likes are publicly visible. Upgrade to hide your likes tab. Subscribe to Premium. So I guess that, like, whole Premium feature is going to disappear then.
I don't know.
Pay for protection.
Right?
That's right.
All right.
Let's do a couple more, and then we'll get on to our next story here.
Darth says, extinction by idiocracy. Thank you very much. Rubber legs, great name. I can't stop touching the grass. I work ground maintenance. The PC for me is to get away from the grass. Well, you're a special case then. Tech Support Gaming has become a YouTube member. Thank you very much, Tech Support Gaming.
Let's go.
Thumbs Ugly. Women are collectivists. Cults are collective. I am a collector, but I'm not in a cult. The Buff Bluff says Hellblade 2 is a 5-hour DLC that is a video game. Shrinkflation at $50 is insane. Yeah, I'm hearing that. 5 hours.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about Hellblade 2, specifically how short it is and how it's just kind of like it's more or less a walking simulator. People talk about Lord of the Rings being a walking simulator movie. Like that's apparently what Hellblade 2 is. It's 6 hours long and the first 90 minutes are just walking straight. It's like, oh, brilliant. So all right, let's go to another story here. Arch, you don't have any kids, do you?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. Well, as you know, as somebody who has 2 kids, it's something that over the last few years we've definitely become more mindful of what our kids are watching on a day-to-day basis, right? And I'll tell you what, I would not expect this to happen
Folks,
if
you
I
need
was
to
to
check this
watch Jurassic World, the animated series. Have you seen this video popping around over the last day or so?
I have not. I'm just looking it up from the list right now.
Well,
It's
here we go.
wild. You honestly, Craig, to save it one time, I would hit like about probably like a minute in or so.
Okay. Well, let's do that real quick. Let's see if damn Twitter scrubbing. It's ridiculous.
Scrubbing.
Yeah, the scrubbing of the bar at the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, the play bar. So here it is.
Folks,
The long and short of it is you probably should be watching what your
kids are watching. Yep.
Yes. Fucking A, Twitter. God damn, you suck. God, this Twitter scrubbing is ridiculous. All right, we'll make this small. I was trying to full screen it. It's not working out very well. Here we go. It is.
folks, you need
All right. So we're going to watch it super small here. She said, hey, there's something here. I noticed you look like you had something important to tell me. And she says, it was.
Truth is, Sammy, I've fallen for you.
Lord have mercy.
Hard. Real hard.
Jurassic World, you know? Jurassic World. Since when did this happen in Jurassic World? I thought it was about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, guys. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at this. Jurassic World, guys. Protect the kids. Protect your kids. Yeah. Sometimes you have to watch what they watch. Watch what they watch, guys. This is crazy, guys. This is Jurassic World, you know?
You know, the thing about it is the cheering aspect of it. Like the encouraging that's happening in the background.
From other teenagers? Yeah.
Right.
It's wild.
Right. Like I said, hey, you're gay, awesome. Be gay. That's cool. But like, you know, it's kid shows. All right.
And you know what the crazy thing is? So this is called Camp Cretaceous. And it supposedly is a very, very cute, wholesome show to the point that my mom actually bought the first few seasons on DVD just to watch it because she heard such great reviews that even it was fun for adults to watch. So she watched it and she loved it. She's like, this was great. And I was like, hey, Mom, did you know what happened? And she's like, what? She's like, there's two lesbians kissing now. She's like, I'm not buying anymore. But I tweeted this out on Libs because this was from Libs of TikTok, and I tweeted out saying this isn't surprising because in the Jurassic World Evolution game, the scientists are actually like pronouns and bios type of deal. They are referred to as they when talking to a singular scientist, like they, even though it's clearly men and women. But for some reason, that triggered the pronoun people, and they came after me with the quote tweeting, like. There's so much shit. They're like, oh my God, you never read the original source material, even though it's like females cloning, right? So I don't understand how they, them offends people. And they just went off the rails, like mad at me. And they're like, oh my God. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even do anything. I just commented like a fact about a game. And I was like, I just ignore the bio and have fun with the game. But apparently that is offensive. And I thought it was
Arch, what's your thoughts on this? We've seen this kind of creep over the last... You know, well, some people would say, well, hey, you know, hey, I don't know the age of these characters. They look like they're kids in the show.
Teenagers, I'd say, right? I'm assuming. Right.
I say let people love what they love, and that's fine. You know, whatever. If you're gay or you're gay, that's fine. Whatever. I don't know. What's your thoughts on all this, Arch? The creep of this into content.
Well, firstly, I am slightly baffled by the idea of a Jurassic Park show for children, considering the usual theme of Jurassic Park, but okay. But I'm largely in agreement with you. Like, I have no problem with gay characters. In fact, this kind of reminds me of the Buzz Lightyear drama from a while ago.
Yeah, the flop Pixar movie.
Yes, where there was a brief moment of two characters kissing, and they were lesbians. Okay, so what? I don't really mind. The issue is that came moments after a Disney executive made the interview saying, I am forcing the gay agenda into anything I can. Like, okay, so this isn't just like a wholesome family scene. This is your political agenda. And that's what I object to. I got no problems with gays or lesbians in entertainment. In fact, I'm old enough to remember a time when lesbians were a good thing in entertainment. But I do have a problem with the fact that it is more than likely propaganda, particularly as you mentioned. Also, the teenagers behind cheering it on is a way to normalize it. Just go like, "Oh, hey, this is really good, children. This is really fantastic."
Yeah,
cheer, cheer.
that's the problem. Is that this is supposed to be aimed for kids to enjoy, and it's like kids shouldn't be having any of this type of stuff in their entertainment.
The thing that I go back to is remove the fact that it's two girls, make it a guy and a girl. At what point in this teenage show does there need to, like this show for kids, there need to be any romance? You're telling me that
it's dinosaurs.
Yeah, you're telling me that in a show about fucking dinosaurs, you can't have the most incredible adventures ever? Like, are you serious? Like, you need to shoehorn in a show about a relationship? Okay, all right, that's kind of where we're at. Well, fuck. When you do have
everything's gay now.
Yes, that's right. Everything.
When everything is gay, nothing is.
All right.
That makes no sense, but you know what? It probably will in a couple of years.
Yes. All right, let's bring Grummz back. Grummz, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm better. I got coffee.
All right, you got your coffee and ready to go. You know, we have Yellow Flash on Mondays, and I'll tell you what, he's a different guy once he gets his coffee, and I know what that's like. I'm kind of the same way. I have an energy drink about 30 minutes before the show, gets the caffeine flowing. And gets me moving. So we want to do another story here. We got about two more big stories here before we wrap for the day. And we briefly touched on this one yesterday on the show, but I don't think we gave it the proper justice that it deserves. And this is actually, we talk about game journalism all the time and the current state of it. And this was kind of big news in the video game journalism space, as IGN acquired several of its competitors, Eurogamer. I'm thinking that's is that Game Informer, GI? I'm guessing it is. VG247, Rock Paper Shotgun, and more. And it's the entire gamer network. And then they're going to let everybody go because there's redundancies there. So it's a real interesting story that I think really puts it's interesting from an IGN perspective because they're more or less buying out their competitors, putting more of a spotlight on them, which we see this all the time in every industry. But it also it puts a further gap between quote unquote video game journalists or bloggers and YouTubers like us, and people who make a living talking about games on a day-to-day basis. Grummz, what's your thoughts on this? How do you think this will affect the video game quote unquote journalism?
Well, do you have that tweet that was, I guess it was a journalist saying that, bemoaning that YouTubers will now get all the traffic and they have no training in journalism? Do you have that one?
Right. Okay. Actually, I did respond to that. Let me see if I can find that really quick, because the thing about that is, it was Celia. That's who it was. Yes. This person right here, Celia. Yep. Yeah. So they said this person had been laid off. They're talking about it. They quickly become my go-to source for fast business-focused game news. Absolutely wild decision. So a strong games press is especially important as the lines blur between gaming and social media and big tech. There are so fucking many stories to write. The senseless layoffs are especially painful as reactionary YouTubers with no journalism training eat away at journalism's mind share.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Right.
That was hilarious. I mean,
go ahead.
We looked into journalism quite a bit back when we believed that news was fair and just. If they had all the information, there's a society out there for the ethical, whatever thing of journalism that they all belong to, and you're supposed to be neutral, present the facts, and and not insert your own agenda. But nobody does that now, because despite all their training, real journalism has disappeared. Investigative journalism takes too long. They want the hit now, and what they do is, I know this from working in games, they publish press releases and they just rewrite them. When they do interviews, they send a list of questions over and you write the article. You answer the questions as the game developer, and they just publish whatever you say. And there is no training and no intelligence going on. But what is absolutely insidious here, Craig, is that journalists present themselves as neutral. journalists present themselves as truth-seeking objectivists. YouTubers don't. They say, I have a bias and here it is, and I'm going to tell you what I think. And that is by far more honest than anything in journalism today. And so here's where I get my news. She's saying that if we stop reporting the news, YouTubers will have nothing to talk about. Well, all they do is they wait for the press release to come in. You know what else they do? They get their news from Twitter. Twitter is the citizen journalism tool of choice. And they pick up stuff from Twitter, and so do YouTubers. So that the source of the real news, the source of the stuff that's really happening in the world, doesn't come from corporate press releases. It comes from people on the ground reporting it on X. And then that gets picked up by YouTubers, and YouTubers wear their biases on their sleeves and they report, and they often do a much better job. And it's not just, covering the news. You can find documentaries on YouTube that are far more comprehensive than anything the History Channel has ever published, right? There's far more research stuff out there. These people put their entire lives into it. You guys put your entire lives into it, reporting this stuff. And I can trust that far more than what a journalist writes because you put so much more work into it. And I know your bias. That is not true of journalism. Journalism tries to uphold themselves as some sort of paragon of truth, when in fact they are anything but. And so this is laughable to say that, the death of game journalism will result in YouTubers having nothing to talk about. Nope, we're just going to get the information the good old-fashioned way. Roll up sleeves and get in there with the facts and report what we think.
So what's interesting about this, and you said this before, and I want to kind of piggyback on this, is as I'm not going to say Screw Attack was a news site back in the day, but we did have news on our website, and we did have a staff of writers on their website, and I've interacted with many writers at many major outlets, and know from experience, and as I put on this response here, I said we've never met before, but for you to honestly think that video game journalists have journalism training is legit laughable. In my nearly 2 decades of experience, most have never been in a journalism classroom or know the ins and outs of true journalism. The vast majority are glorified bloggers with access. That's it. And that's really what it comes down to. And by access, meaning an email, a direct contact to whoever it is that they want. And that's...
Don't forget cushy press events at castles in Europe.
Listen, hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was at the press event, which spawned all the idea of having to tell people you received any sort of benefits. The event that I went to was a Call of Duty event where, I mean, it was insane. We landed, we got put in a helicopter, we flew up the coastline of California. We had custom helicopter helmets with our names on them. We got all this swag. It was insane. And what was crazy, it was for Black Ops 1. And I remember going there. It was me and another guy I worked with. And we both looked at each other and said, man, it would be a real shame if this game sucked after all the really nice things that they said that they've given us. Because we had no issue with talking shit about a game if it sucked, right? Luckily, that game was spectacular. But when a game is spectacular and you also receive all those things, it then calls into question, was it truly spectacular? Were you bought? And that's where things got messy, because I know in my heart of hearts that Black Ops 1 was awesome, right? But you also receive all that shit and you go, oh, yeah, it's okay. So
yeah, anyway. Having been on the other side of that, I mean, we would roll out the red carpet. We would, while I was at Blizzard, especially, we would basically, our parent company at the time, Vivendi, we actually rented a castle in Europe and we flew people out to that. Open bars are a thing. And definitely the swag. We would put little packages together with a little bow on it, like you said, your name, all that stuff. It's a good life, It's a nice junket for reporters, and Disney does this too. I mean, look at what they did with the Disney Star Wars hotel, right? They flew everybody out on these huge packages, come stay a couple of nights. This is just par for the course, Craig. This isn't anything that people in the know don't try to hide or anything. It's out in the open. It's like these very generous press events. We spend millions on them, okay, millions of dollars, and yeah, no money changes hands. But you get a free vacation in Europe at a castle with an open bar and fat loot. Come on, you don't want to lose access to that. And worse yet, you don't want to lose access to early review copies too, right? So that's a very big stick that publishers wield, and it's the job of AAA PR departments. Whenever an article is published that is, let's say, not so flattering, you get a call from PR, and PR is like, hey, and they're very careful. They say, this isn't quite accurate. Could you maybe change the article a little bit? And we saw this happen with Assassin's Creed recently, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the Japanese game publication, was it Famitsu? Am I pronouncing that right? Famitsu. So Famitsu had a developer quote where the developer is like, yeah, we wanted to see Japan through Western eyes, and so we put in a Black Samurai, all this stuff, right? And I guarantee you, Famitsu got a very polite call from the PR offices at Ubisoft, which is a very well-oiled machine, by the way. Very impressed with how on top of this they are. They called him up, most likely, and said, hey, that isn't quite what we wanted to say. Could you change that, please? And of course, they're going to change it because they don't want to lose access to the review copies. They don't want to lose access to developer interviews, and they don't want to miss out on the next fantastic party in Kyoto or Tokyo or wherever it's going to be.
Arch, have you ever received any perks from? I mean, obviously, your biggest perk was being booted out of the community, but prior to that, did you receive anything awesome?
Once I did go to a castle in Italy at one point for a Slytherin event, which was really nice. But normally I'm too radioactive for that. Though the idea about exclusive access, that one's very important and bears bearing out even further, because I remember when I was first starting out YouTube in Total War, and a fellow Total War YouTuber made a video basically saying that if I don't get early access, that's all the reason anybody comes to my channel. If I don't get that, I'm dead. I'm like, come on, that's not true. Like, surely, if you're building a YouTube channel, you have to have more of a draw than just that, right? Right. And yet that is how a lot of people think, particularly within the video gaming journalism industry, because nobody goes to Kotaku for the scintillating reporting. They go there for the news. And so if they lose access to the artificial advantage of I get this 5 days early, they might as well be screwed. It's a crutch. And in reality, it shouldn't exist. Everybody should get access to it on the same day, in my opinion. But,
Well, yes, but that's how they control, once again, the narrative, right? Because that's really all journalists are, and I use that term loosely, especially in the video game space, is you are, as Grummz said, a vessel for their message. And that's the idea of pushing back is, I'm talking in the gaming space, I'm talking in politics, I'm talking in sports, I'm talking in cooking, any sort of outlet or media that you run, any sort of genre, you're going to run into the same thing, and it goes back to access. It's always access. So there you go. All right, let's go and move on to this other story here that has been really widely talked about over the last couple of days. Which I have some interesting perspective on this. I think from Dev, actually, who's been really deep in this conversation. We're talking about the conversation with the new Paper Mario game. That's a remake of the 2004 Thousand Year Door with the localizations. And the general thought is that there is this character named Vivian, and she's like a ghost character in it. And this character in the 2004 version, there's a lot of like ambiguity between the 2004 version and the version, the way it was released and the way she was spoken about then and the way it is now. I don't even know what the proper pronouns are with this character. I don't even care. But the point is that this is being seen as like this big win because this character has been, quote, confirmed trans. in this game. And you see people saying, "Oh my goodness, this is not an edit. We won so hard." And people are very, very excited about this character being trans, which is a thing, I guess. Now, Grummz, you obviously, you said this character was originally a cross-dresser or femboy in the original Japanese release, not trans. So
there are a lot of. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, good. Continue.
There are a lot of flavors of sexuality in Japan, and it's actually more open there. So, there's cross-dressers, there's femboys, there's like 8 or 9 different, flavors of this stuff. And it does come up in the original Japanese, where they say that, oh, this is a boy who dresses as a girl, right? And this is and I got in trouble for this, right? For 2 reasons. One is that I'm actually a little bit left of center, so I don't care what you are, as long as you're a consenting adult. But I also, like the previous clip you played on Jurassic Park, I don't think it belongs in a kid's game.
Right.
I think that we have a big problem with forced gender reassignment being a big business and popular for parents to do, and I don't think that's right when a child can't make the decision for themselves. But the other reason I got it, so some of my fan base didn't like that, and in fact, one of them got really mad at me because they actually posted a month ago a tweet where the localizer responsible for pushing this change through at Nintendo was crowing about it on Twitter. And I did not retweet that at the time. So this follower, who I had to block, just went off on me, called me a stupid bitch for not talking about this earlier. Hope you enjoy your kids growing up trans. I had to block this person. So unfortunately, I lost the original tweet. But yeah, there is one person who apparently, one localizer, who pushed this through at Nintendo of America, and it's not faithful to the original Japanese text. And since then, on the remake, the original Japanese itself has been altered, and unfortunately, I don't have that information with me handedly right now. But yeah, I mean, they're politicizing this. They're taking what is a nuanced stance by the original creators and trying to make it about a trans thing when it's not, right? Culturally, it's not. Linguistically, it's not. But this localizer was very proud of making it about the trans debate and getting it into a Nintendo game. And I don't think it belongs there.
So, Dev, Short Fat Otaku, he came on our show a couple weeks ago, and when this story was first kind of popping off, and there was like rumors, hey, this character may be trans, right? And he was talking about it in detail, and he DM'd me prior to the show starting, and he said, and I'm going to quote this here. He says, "I found the Japanese version of Paper Mario: 1,000-Year Door. This doesn't appear to be a localizer issue. They've changed it to the source." Pardon me one second. He said, "The original director of the game is also back. So it's fair to say that Vivian being trans was probably always his intention. He just wasn't able to be explicit about it in 2004. And I said, well, who handles localization for Nintendo? Is it handled in-house or third party? And he said, localization is done in-house at Nintendo of America by a team called the Treehouse, Nintendo Treehouse. That's a pretty famed group. He says the Treehouse probably made the cringy line, "I thought I was their brother, but I'm actually their sister." That reeks of progressive political correctness. The Japanese version of the line conveys the same message for the plot, but appears to be less overtly political. Vivian says, "I have the body of a boy, but the heart of a girl." So that is from Dev and his thoughts on it. So I don't know, people are saying like this is confirmed that this character is trans, right? But Nintendo has not said anything about this. Everything up to this point is strictly
No, and I've been to the treehouse. I've been up to Nintendo and been to the treehouse.
Tell me more.
What I'm told from my localizer sources who talk to me is that the treehouse tends to every couple of years kind of get out of hand and get off of Nintendo's Japan's edict and starts to push stuff, and then Nintendo eventually wakes up. Nintendo Japan wakes up, comes in, cleans it up. Gets rid of people and then hires a new staff, and it's kind of this cycle that's been going on for a while now. Now it does look that the original creator did intend this to be one of the many flavors of sexuality that they discuss and are open about in Japan, but that's not my problem with it. My problem with it is I don't think it belongs in a Nintendo game for kids, right? And that's why it was changed in the original translation before the remake, by the way, but now what we have is the trans community trying to make it about them. They're trying to make it about them and one rogue localizer at Nintendo, and I wish I could find that tweet, dang it, a month ago tweeted about how they successfully got this into the game. Like they didn't want this to happen, but this person pushed so hard, and we know the tactics they use, name and shame, and try to say, wouldn't this be, Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. says, you just got to go to your marketing department and say, wouldn't it be ashamed if you got singled out for saying this or not allowing this? That's all it takes. And so they made it about the trans movement, and that is not what the original creator intended. The original creator in the original Japanese intended, they did want to represent that this person was a boy, and the heart of the girl thing, I think that's in the current Switch translation. That's not the original translation from the original Switch title. Again, I'm sorry, I'm unprepared on this, but
it's okay.
People can look back on that.
The thing that I always go back to with this is, once again, kids, and my daughter's playing this, they'd be like, what? They'd be so confused. What is happening? What are they talking about here? It's one of those, it's amazing to kind of see. And this was a tweet about this as well. This is kind of the different cross sections of culture in Japan. And I'm not going to say I know a whole lot about Japanese culture, but this has been discussed many, many times that this character falls under this Odo. I can't even say this, but Arch, can you pronounce that for me in your best?
Which one?
This one right here, right there. This one.
Otoko no ko.
Yeah, that. All right. And in Japan, there's different little sections, and in the United States, hey, everybody's trans. There you go. Which I think
this also probably, by the way, is more otoko no ko, because I have the original translation up in front of me right now.
Please read it off.
The localizers have definitely taken severe liberties, because truth is, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Now their usual bullying feels heavier. The original Japanese is Sore ni jitsu ha atahi karada wo otoko no dakedo, kokoro wa kawaii no onna no nano. My pronunciation is terrible, but that means, in reality, really, my body is a boy, but my heart is that of a cute little girl, which is not really the trans thing. It's more of the otoko no ko thing, or trap thing, really, because he adds in the cute little girl thing there.
Right. Huh. Okay. Well, so, I see outlets like this Game Explain is like, confirmed, this character is trans, and let's celebrate. And of course, like, a trans person is voicing this video, and they're talking about how great it is and stuff. But you still have not received any official word from Nintendo about this, which I think is the biggest thing. And let's be real, like, what the fuck does it matter? Why should Nintendo have to make a statement about a fringe character nobody cared about until 3 days ago? Just throwing it out there, They never come out and made, as far as I know, they never made a statement about Birdo from Super Mario Brothers 2 being, their sexuality or whatever. Officially, I know there's some lore behind that and all that stuff, but like, I don't know, like, who cares? It's just so dumb. It's like, and like, is this really the win that people are really excited about? Like, they're like, oh, representation. Okay, cool. You're playing as a ghost. Okay, all right. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but
No, that is for the political reasons, as you pointed out. They're holding it up as a win because it is a political win. It is territory they get to claim. And whether or not that is... See, we're kind of missing the point here. Here we are sitting and we're arguing the finer points, right? Yeah, but could they mean this? Perhaps it's one of the Japanese interpretations. No, it's a political land grab. That's what it is. And any further additive to that is just adding charitability to a discussion that has none.
I think you nailed it right there. Very good. All right. We have Grummz here. We have Arch here. We have a lot of questions from the Super Chat side of things, from the direct donation side of things, and the Rumble rant side of things. Let's go and start with some of those real quick. I want to be right back. Blabs, you can start us off with Silver's Super Chat here now that Grummz is back.
All right, so Silver 42 for 10. Grummz, I don't know any of this firsthand, only secondhand. But if you haven't already, I would talk to your local sheriff as soon as possible to discuss the situation and your current concerns about safety.
Yeah, after the stream, what I've been advised is what you should do if you are doxed with information and that there are people who have made threats on your life, that you need to call your local police department and inform them that you may be the target of a swatting. And that's something that's very important to do because swatting does happen. Streamers have been swatted, tons of people have been swatted. And so once your information is out there, call your local police department, inform them that you may be the target of a swatting so that they think twice before sending a SWAT team over with AK-15s or whatever it is. AK-47s, AR-15s, I'm sorry. The gun nuts are like, it's wrong, Grummz is wrong. But yeah, you have to do that. And as soon as I get off stream, I'll be calling my local police department and informing them. So that's a very good tip. Thank you.
All right, moving on. Vimorain, Grummz, at this point, only thing you can do is report this to police and or start a lawsuit. Anything below that is going to have no effect.
Yeah, I don't know what action to take. What I'd like to see, and I reiterate this, is a public condemnation and apology by Nick for this. I think that Nick has an obligation to get a hold of his community and tell them this is wrong. I think he also needs to ban the people involved, and he needs to stop soliciting this information to be sent to him privately and or posted publicly. That needs to happen. As far as legal measures, I have no idea. It's a different law in every state, and Nick in Discord did not publicly link that information. He did on Twitter, thinking it was one thing when it was actually a family address. So I have no idea. I do have a legal background, but the doxing laws are all new, way before my time in law. So that is something that I probably should explore, but it's likely to be, and this is my attorney experience working with attorneys coming up. It's likely to be extremely expensive, a long process, and difficult to prove. So this is, I'd rather see disciplinary action taken by Discord, taken by X, taken by Patreon, taken by YouTube. I think that matters more because that impacts him, financially. And like he's trying to, and I wouldn't normally do that, but he's trying to crush me. He's going after my business. He's going after my career, So I think if you cross the line, there needs to be some accountability. So thanks for the tips. At this point, I'm not pursuing legal action. I am calling the police department. I am going to figure out how to file reports on the different platforms. And I actually think nothing will come of it because, unfortunately, if you're on the wrong side of politics, the platforms disfavor you.
All right. Masagawa says, told you these escapist guys deserve zero support. Thank you.
I was such a fan of the Escapist. Oh, gosh, I watched all of Yahtzee's videos. And it's so sad to see this. I was such a fan. I probably would have been a Patreon supporter of Second Wind. So that's just ridiculous. I mean, he's making money off of this hate.
So real quick, I actually do have an update really fast. A lot of people were saying, hey, you got to have Nick on, Grummz, you said you didn't really have any interest in talking to him. I said, that's fine. Like I said, it was going to be a shit show if he was on. It's not Jerry Springer. Right. he did DM me and was like, "Hey, I'm free now. I'm ready to come on." I said, "Listen, it's not the right time. We both know it'd be a shit show if you came on." And he responded and said that his team has advised him not to go on the show. Because I did say, like, hey, if you want to come on tomorrow or maybe even later today, I'll do a special show with you. You can kind of provide your insight or whatever. He said his team has advised him not to go on, and he's listened, and he hasn't listened to him enough on the situation. So he's not commenting any further up to this point. So just to give everybody a little update. I'm trying to do a little show in journalism at the same time. So there you go.
Gosh, I'm too nice a guy. I got to give Nick props for when he was fooled and published that fake story about me. He walked that back. He did, and I have to give him props for that. But this has gone too far. And like I said, I got a 24-hour rule. If he wants to publicly apologize, publicly ban these people who are doing this, and condemn it, just as I have been condemning it, I'll accept it. 24 hours. I'm too nice, and I know so many of my followers would be like, "Don't do this, Grummz." But I would like there ultimately to be discourse. I would like there ultimately but you got to stop tweeting about me every day, man. You got to let it go. All right, thank you.
Let's go. Keep going, Blabs.
Lord of the Rig! I'll say this now and I've said this then. The tolerant left strikes again. Praying for your safety, man. These freaks need to face consequences. Thank you very much. Cool Dude says, at this point, we should mass report their tweets to use their own tactics. No more giving them the benefit of the doubt ever.
Okay, so I don't know about mass reporting tweets, but I do encourage people to join community notes. You can apply on X to join community notes and help be a fact checker and help vote on issues. And I think that's a good way to get information out there that isn't necessarily brigading or targeting people, which is against Twitter toss. So please don't mass report. Join community notes instead. Join the fight for freedom and information.
All right. Mark says, new acronym DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise.
Hey, just a heads up. If for some reason I'm getting hit with some major weather right now, hence the dogs freaking out. So if I drop for whatever reason and I just disappear, that's why I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay. The Worthy One says, this is happening simply because people are mad at Grummz because he got receipts for the crooked things happening in the gaming industry. Crazy. Thank you, Worthy One. Scarfy says, even CNN threatened to dox a kid over a wrestling meme. Guess that guy must be a real journalist. You don't hate them enough. Thank you, Scarfy. Balloons? Grummz Pickle.
A box of balloons.
Oh my God. I was trying to read
this
this one whole thing. I was like, what does that mean? Wow.
That's not a fan. I know what pickle means. That's not a fan.
Oh. Matt says, Grummz, I would suggest getting a firearm, Glock 19 Mossberg Maverick or Rock Island 38 Special.
Well, I've been invited by Donut Operator to come out and shoot with him and stuff like that, and I've never taken him up on that. I do have a background in firearms. I'm not a big gun aficionado, but I hand load. I obviously exercise my my Second Amendment rights here. And I'm not a gun expert. I do some gunsmithing on my own. So I am not, but I'm unprepared. I'm not someone who keeps stuff ready or anything like that. I just think that they're cool and I have fun with them. But this has given me pause, and I'm thinking about getting my, carry license and, definitely getting some training, because this is, I can't ignore it anymore, guys. I just can't. I don't know what else to do. It's like I think that these are important steps to take, and I can't afford to just not do it anymore.
James says, Grummz, I'm sorry this is happening to you. The legal mindset may have some suggestions. There are other actual lawyers on YouTube as well. James?
Yeah, from my own legal background, I don't think this is something that can be pursued legally effectively, and lawsuits, having been involved with them in the past, they are hugely draining, and they take a lot of time and energy that and this stuff happens, and for likely little result. Okay, you can go through all of this for likely little result after 1 or 2 years. and tens of, not tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think accountability can happen. I think these platforms, primarily Patreon, Discord, YouTube, X, should hold Second Wind accountable for letting this go on in their Discord server and monetizing that through their Patreon. I think that's more effective at this point.
Do you real quick? Let me kind of ask you about that, because we've seen people who have been punished for things they do off platform on Twitch or something along those lines. Do you see the parallel between those two things?
Yeah, and I'm normally not a fan of that, but I think there's a direct link here between Patreon and Discord, right? Less so on X. Well, now there's a link on X because so you have a couple of direct links. First, according to what you've told me, Nick has posted that link to his Twitter feed, which makes him directly liable for personal address information, so-called, whether or not it's doxing. I think that that's a legal question I'm not qualified to answer. I think that there is a link between Patreon and Discord, obviously, because he's selling access to his Discord via his Patreon. And I think that there is obviously a direct violation by these users who are engaging in this and encouraged to engage on this on his Discord by Discord itself to take action. Whether or not Nick is culpable on Discord is an open question. But I mean, people have been banned for far, far less. And I'm tired of the favoritism. I'm tired of, this person makes a lot of money on our platform, so we're going to leave them alone. I'm tired of double standard.
We're going to fire through these super chats. You guys have been incredibly generous today, and we want to be mindful of Arch and Grummz' time. So we're going to fire through these, and we appreciate everybody's support. So let's fire away, Blabs.
All right, Gear says, those dimwits at the Escapists are not realized that doxing in other countries outside Western countries are illegal. Thank you very much, Gear. Master Gawa says, ask Naomi Wu, sexy cyborg, if droners are scum. Thank you, Master Gawa. Nick Skyberg, Scrum, sorry to hear about this. I would strongly advise you get well trained with various firearms to protect yourself, if you're not already. Also not a bad idea to clue your sheriff into all of this. Thank you, Nick. Gear says, arm yourselves, side scrollers.
Okay. Oh, I'm armed. I'm from Texas, baby.
SBC says, Grummz should join InfoWars.
Holy moly.
JR says, Grummz invested into Second Amendment training. A man must protect what he loves. Stay safe, brother. Thank you, JR. Jeffrey says, we are living in a time where truth is offensive, so people make their own reality so their feelings are not hurt. Accurate. Sheet Thomas says, hey there, Forbidden Norway man.
Hello.
Mercante says, Grummstalker reminds me of the Blaine Pardue one.
Yeah, that's the author from Mech Warrior, who was fired for being conservative. And he has his own issues there where the community went after him. Yeah.
Yep.
He actually had legal, he had to get a restraining order.
Jeez. His stalker, proven stalker, upon whose word he was fired, was published by his previous employers as well, just to really hammer that one home.
Oh, they rubbed that in. Yeah, they published his stalker's fanfic story and articles after that. Yeah,
that's shitty. Straight up.
After the legal action, after it's like, this guy's a stalker and the restraining order was in place. Hey, why don't we publish the stalker's article and promote him and fire the other guy?
All right. Boog says, give them an inch, they will use it to destroy you. Correct. Gigabear, I'm also a frequent topic on Nick's X account. Thank you, Gigabear.
Yeah, Gigabear is my supporter who went undercover in the Discord to expose the doxing that was happening there. He also did the sting operation against Nick to expose how he's willing to publish anything, any lie about me, no matter how tenuous.
Boog also says, you don't hate game journalists enough. Thank you very much, Boog.
Just really hate.
Mark of Reality says, they want unfettered access to children so they can indoctrinate them and thought gaming was an effective avenue. It really upsets them when their bullshit gets revealed. Thank you. Mercenary says, you need lawyers and cops now, Grummz. I had 2 when I was attacked, and I also had to get a restraining order on top of this. Thank you, Mercenary. Elite Neo says Andrew Braca, aka Law of Self-Defense, is a law tuber that might be able to offer some insight to the situation. Sounds like it's right up his alley. Future show guest, maybe?
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds great.
Rebound. Grummz is right. Why do I owe them consideration when they have none? The faster you understand that they cannot be reasoned with, the happier you are.
And what I mean by that is not tit for tat. I don't mean retaliate in kind with the same methods. What I mean is realize that they're going to take advantage of your generosity and your openness, and that these people are disingenuous, and to not give them the time of day.
Alan says, here's another $10 shout out to Grummz. This is a culture war. You are on the front lines. Hail.
I'm tanking, baby. I'm tanking.
You sure are.
Tech Support Gaming, unsubscribing from Second Wind. I won't support Nick even remotely for this behavior. Thank you, Tech.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
Tech also says, now's not the time to have Nick and Grummz in the same room. Stop trying to push them to fight. That's just going to throw gasoline on the fire. You did the right thing, Craig.
Thanks, Tech. Look, some people, and I know we're flying through these super chats, but some people will question things that I do or say on the show. I always try to do it with the best interest of everybody in mind, not just the show.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I just, it's just the wrong time for it, and it's not someone that I ever want to platform.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. Keep going, Blabs.
Razorburn says, Arch is from Norway. He listens to black metal.
Unironically true, yes, on occasion.
Master Gawa says, I love when they cry about karma they sowed. Not advising you what to do, but remember, we lose because we are limited by our kindness and tolerance while they are unrestricted in their evil actions. Thank you, Master.
This is unironically correct. Like, just to bring it back to the Vivian conversation, we were looking for ways to justify that and find reasons and rationales. Again, it's just a political power grab, and the fact that we keep following into the same trap of trying to find some charitable interpretation is unironically a great flaw that we have.
Well, they told us when GG1 was happening and everyone tried to be neutral, they said the other side said there is no neutral. You must pick a side. There is no neutral on a moving train, right? And so they told us exactly what they were going to do, and we didn't listen. We thought they would be reasonable.
All right. Susha says Portugal's drowning in illegal aliens. Spain too. Thank you. I guess that's why everyone hates Portugal. Urxie says, I think Nick should be deplatformed for what he did. These people don't deserve a platform. You guys should help Grummz taking Nick's Twitter, Patreon, etc. down.
Do not brigade. That is against TOS. Tell me how to file the complaint most effectively, or if you have a direct contact on these platforms I can reach out to, DM me at Grummz on Twitter. My DMs are open. Please don't brigade. That would be against most platforms' TOS.
John says, Craig, have you heard about the drama in the toy collector world? Some YouTubers allegedly stealing content, reposting, then false copyright claiming owners when called out. Jeff talked about it. Jeff from World Class Bullshitters, he's going to be on next week, so this will be really interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. The YouTube copyright system is a mess.
I know they did that with the Star Wars, the lightsaber guy, the trainer. That's what I remember. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. Cheers, second.
Yeah. Andrew says, in 1984, we had Prince, Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, Phil Collins, Lionel Richie, and Madonna before she went crazy. Today, we have Taylor Swift. Thank you, Andrew. One time at Bandcamp says, Trench Crusade sucks. How you feel about that, Arch?
I mean, I still like the idea of the setting, but since they declared that only woke politics was allowed on their Discord, well, they don't seem like particularly nice people.
Look, they definitely have, started their own Discord, but it seems to be filled with all the same politics. Look, there needs to be an alternative to Warhammer. There needs to be an alternative to woke D&D. Recently, I have a raft of 3D print equipment that I just installed in my garage, and I like to do things. So maybe I'll do something with that.
All right. Bane says, I, Robot, not the movie, is how AI will take over. Thank you. Whomever. Side Scrolls and Critical Drinker are the only channels I on notifications. Lots to say. Scared of terrors. Blabies. Archdog. Straight up Craig.
Thanks, whomever. Appreciate that. I don't know what you just said, but we
I
appreciate
don't
it.
know either. Yay. Mastagawa, before anyone says it's not leftist, ask yourself if any of these journals have a conservative bone in their body. It's laughable to pretend otherwise.
This goes back to just to kind of piggyback on that. And once again, I know we're flying through Buzz, but Colin Moriarty, he said many times, he talks about, the idea of diversity in these spaces, right? And he's, he worked out of IGN and kind of funny for a long time. And his idea was like, hey, when was the last time you went into one of these video game spaces? And you're going to see, when you go into them, you're going to see white people, black people, gay people, trans people, whatever. But how many of those people don't vote Democrat? Right? Like it's true, not diversity. Yes, diversity from a physical perspective or a sexuality perspective, sure. But from a thought perspective, it's not very diverse.
Okay, Wolf Spain says the weird thing about the Camp Cretaceous thing is it happened last minute. There was no romance between them whatsoever until the last episode. So yeah, there was an agenda to it.
Yeah, like, because I was watching that, and I didn't watch anything else, so I couldn't really comment, but it was like, hey, I need to tell you, I'm really in love with you.
It's like,
okay. Deflected, I guess. When did this happen?
Miku says, Denver, the last dinosaur, he's now trans and banned.
Denver, the last dinosaur, he's now trans and a whole lot more. That's a song from the 80s, Labs. It's a great cartoon. Oh, sorry, 90s, actually.
Right.
Shut up, Bowser.
Listen, Bowser understands what I'm saying. It's fine. TRS Chaos says, what's the best and worst energy drink? All of them? They're all shit. Don't drink them.
Accurate, but I still have them.
Yeah, you're unhealthy. Gear says, oh no, it's the IGN ignorance is strength again. Ignorance. Yep, there you go. Rebound. No such thing as journalist ethics. Never was. Thank you, Rebound. Nathan says, just to remind people, IGN bought Humble Bundle 2018-ish, and they're constantly promoting the Humble Choice subscription option. Thank you, Nathan. Ben says, Grummz, I'm worried that the negativity surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows might bordering false info due to lack of knowledge in the series. If people are not careful, they will be caught looking bad by woke people or people in the mid. Thank you, Ben. Oh, what do you got there? I think he's got Bowser there. Do you have Bowser?
I do, yeah. He's freaking out a little bit because there's a lot of rain. So.
Oh, hello, cutie pie. Look at that.
Good boy. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah, it's like some ASMR. that Asian guy. Grummz, I have hope and faith in Freestyler Boy, but what is the next step if Shift Up still say no? I
got faith in Shift Up. The petition has a deadline of the 26th in order to sign, and I believe that they will receive that at their offices, and we'll see from there. It's too late to get refunds, and I don't think that was the right course anyways, because they are doing far more good for the game industry by pushing against Sony's boundaries and getting this far. And but if they ignore the petition, they don't address it, and they continue to censor outfits, I think that's going to have a backlash on them when it's time for their DLC to drop later this year on Stellar Blade and the PC port that they announced. I think that those two areas is what you pay attention to next.
All right, Kadeth Gaming says, how did that trans char get to be a ghost?
Trans character.
Oh, character, yeah. Which one? A ghost. Which one's a ghost?
The one we were talking about all day.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know, but got to make sure here. All right. JRD says it's kind of weird that they want a ghost to represent them, especially with the rates of self-deletion in that community.
Oh, God. All right.
Okay. Sejong the Great says Grumpy should have taken a page from the Enron playback. A closet with a fax machine equals business address.
Well, I just didn't expect a much lauded, respected reporter to stoop so low. So I guess that's bad on me. I should just assume they're all scum.
Boog says, I'm not going to follow legal action. I want Twitter and X to platform them. This is sort of the thing I hate from woke people. Lawyer up or shut up. Thank you, Boog. Suna says, Nick is letting Grummz live in his head rent-free.
Sickness.
Bill says, make sure the job is done because unended people will tell lies in court. Thank you very much. Superchats says, Grummz, you cannot break bread or have dialogue with these people. They will turn on you at the drop of a hat. It's like Sam Hyde's famous declaration. They want to SA your kids and think it's funny. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm of that opinion, but I do have my 24-hour rule. The olive branch is extended, but it's got to be a full-throated apology, and some action has to be taken.
Chris says, Grummz, what did that D2 chat lobby gem do?
It's working as intended. And I wrote that line. So I cannot, that's strict Blizzard NDA. I cannot reveal the chat gem.
Trucking Gamer, prepare for the worst and pray for the best. Hope everything simmers down for you, Grummz. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trooper says, stay strapped or get crap daddies, Craig, Urge, Grummz, and Mommy Blabs. Okay, thank you. That Asian guy says, since Grummz is making an MMO, he should make the same thing and turn it into a tabletop.
There is a tabletop, but it's a role-playing game tabletop that was put on the back burner in favor of the game. But it started that way. So yeah, there is one coming.
All right, and Chiche Tomate says, you can't write ignorant without IGN. Very accurate. Irkai says, Bowser the Pup must be a regular host now. Bowser's been on a couple of times. He's a Welsh Terrier, right?
A little Welsh Terrier. Yeah, he's hanging out in my lap right now. He's an old man.
We're caught up on YouTube side.
All right. I do want to hit up all of our support over on the Direct Donation side. We do have an update really quick as somebody else has chimed in on all this nonsense. But first, Captain S says, when did Nick become too much of a chicken and come on the show anymore? Why does he talk all this trash on Twitter but never talks people in their face? Delta said, didn't Nick say he was done with all that? Done when that panda fella gave him false information? I stopped bothering to talk to Nick when he told me I don't know anything about proper journalism when I asked, if you retract the fan from your thread, what credibility is lost? Yeah, thanks, Delta. Alundis with the 10 says, hey, Craig, I want to apologize for the video I sent yesterday. I thought it was fine because there weren't any actual forbidden words being said, but I forgot with how backwards this platform can be. Even that may be too much. Thanks for all you do. Alundis, it's okay, baby. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Delta says, oh, no, I just read some of the images. Nick has taken the, quote, modern journalism concept that the likes of Alyssa Mercante and blog journalists do by asking and expecting info from a community of strangers a la 4chan. Oh, no.
This is professional journalistic training, Craig. This is what they're talking about. It's okay when we do it.
60 Watt came into the 10 says, thank you so much, Mark, for standing on principle when it comes to the fight against censorship and disingenuous behavior from game publishers. Thank you for shouldering the cost of the hate. You don't deserve this hate.
Thank you.
Star Killer came in and picked up the Blabs karaoke hat. Says, I love all the hard work you guys do to entertain and inform everyone. Please keep going, Craig and Blabs, and all your great guests. Thank you very much, Star Killer. And there are some smaller ones, but I'm going to really quick bypass on some of these real quick. Arch, do you want to talk briefly? I know we've gone a little long today, but do you want to talk briefly about this? I did want to really give you the platform to talk about this Trench Crusade thing, and because you said you were banned before you even had a chance to join the Discord. Is that accurate?
Oh, that was the Homeworld Discord.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm being persecuted in 2 communities this week.
Okay. So why don't you talk a little about that? Because I don't, as somebody who has no idea what you're talking about, tell me how you got banned before you even joined.
Okay. Which one? Homeworld or Trench Crusade?
Home.
Okay. The Homeworld thing. Homeworld 3, which is the sequel to a much beloved strategy game, 1 and 2, of course. I don't know if you played Homeworld.
No.
It came out last week, I believe. A lot of people were very disappointed by it. I think it's bordering on mostly negative reviews on Steam last time I checked, which is not great, of course. And a lot of people were mostly annoyed by the game's story, which introduced a lot of very modern-day diverse elements, which have made a lot of people start digging into the game to see if they were involved with any DEI company or Sweet Baby Inc. or anything like that. And what has been emerging slowly but surely is that one of the employees at Gearbox Interactive, the publisher, not the developer, has probably interfered and rewritten the story drastically in the DEI direction. I just released a video a couple hours ago, actually, where people managed to data mine an old cutscene, which showed an entirely different story, presented in an entirely different way.
Wow.
So what has probably happened is that this employee came in, changed everything in a far more woke direction, ruined the story, made it not a homeworld story, and is now currently being protected by the company, who deleted any mention of me or my video from their Discord.
Wow. That's interesting. Once again, the mere mention of Arch is like it's like the devil coming down from the sky. It's amazing to see.
I am he who cannot be named.
That's who we have on the show today. We have Grummz, he who cannot be named, and we have Arch, and apparently I'm that way too. So congratulations, Blabs, you're next on the list just by guilt by association.
Cool. I guess I'll chop off my nose.
They don't want you to chop off your nose, Blabs. They want you to chop off other things.
Well, all of it's gonna go. If I'm Voldemort, the nose has to go first.
There you go. Well, Arch, I'm sorry you got to deal with all that nonsense. As always, it's crazy to see.
Badge of honor at this point.
All right. Hey, Grummz, I know we got you for just a minute, but I did want to. We have had a video game blogger chime in to everything that's happening today, and I would just like to give you the opportunity to respond to this. This is from Kotaku blogger Alyssa Mercante, who tweeted this out. She said, another page out of the Chud playbook. Claim that you've been doxed, home address shared, when you have not been doxed, so that your anonymous bootlickers can actually dox the person you claim dox you. Very dangerous stuff. This is how my parents' and grandparents' address started circulating online. Your response to that?
I don't know what she's saying. Can you read that first one back to me?
Sure. She says, another page out of the Chud playbook. Claim that you've been
I'm the Chud, right?
Yes, you are the Chud.
I
yes.
am the Chud. Okay.
Yes. Claim
Rebranding.
Claim that you've been doxed.
Claim that you've been doxed.
Yes. When you have not been doxed.
Okay.
So she's saying claim that you've been doxed when you actually haven't been doxed.
That's a family address out there, but okay, go with that.
And then, so she's saying claim that you've been doxed when you actually haven't been doxed, so that then people who follow you on X will actually go out and dox the person you're saying doxed you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, remember when I predicted that as soon as I said that I was doxed, that they would turn around and say I'm the one doxing them, or that my community is doxing them, and don't do that. If that's actually happening, that's wrong. But look, I have receipts and they're out there. And if what you say about Nick's tweet is true, he actually posted it himself. Alyssa has claimed to have been doxed and there's been no information about that aside from her insinuation that she was doxed. So that's, I don't know what to say. It's like, I have receipts and you don't. What do you want to do?
All right, cool. I think that's a great place to stop for today. You guys have both been excellent and forthcoming. Arch, you going through all your nonsense. Grummz, it's been Nonsense Wednesday here on the channel.
Fiery great. Nonsense Wednesday.
Yes.
But it's Chudmaster Grummz.
That's right. Maybe we should just change from normal men to chuds. All you chuds.
We're not cisgender. We're chuds.
Hey, Handsome Imposter says the only way to get these people to change is to take part in malicious compliance. Force all these people to live up to their own standards. Bug ball companies involved, Discord, Patreon, hosting providers, etc. To drop these people and follow their terms of service. I know, Bowser. I know. Thank you, Handsome Imposter. I know, but I'm sorry. Matt Amos came in and says, Bowser, relax. She who will not be noseless, Blabs. There you go. Gigabear came back, says, do I need to ratio her and Kotaku again?
Oh, she does that all by herself. Please don't harass her. She just does it to herself.
And Zenik finishes up with says, evil always projects and tells on itself by ascribing to others what they would do.
Like clockwork. We said it would happen at the beginning of the stream, and boom, Kotaku's right there doing it, gaslighting at the last minute.
General Duality says the Unreal game came out 26 years ago today, but it was the first game made in the Unreal Engine. Morning, everybody. Talking about today in gaming history. Siver says repressive tolerance. It's okay to use it on enemies of lefties, but not okay on lefties. It's wrong, and I hope Grummz is armed. Time for lawyers and police. And then Shane Bentley guy came in with a 5, says, they came to protect themselves from the dinosaurs. The last thing a T-Rex wants to do is be labeled a bigot by eating a person from the alphabet community. Hashtag clever girls. All right. There we go. Well, listen, a lot of support today. Thank you guys very much for everything.
I have a counter idea. You know, some people are saying that they're unsubscribing from Second Wind, but it only costs $1 to join their Patreon. Why not join for $1? You know, let's throw a buck at them, and you can help keep their community from being illegally doxing people and dishonest, and then you can tell the world what's going on in there. So go ahead, join. Give them some money, kick them $1, join the Discord community, and let the world know what's going on.
And if you don't want to do that, you can always go to our locals page and support us over there at sidescrollers.locals.com and become. I'll tell you, I had a call with our locals guy the other day, and he goes, "You need to be at 200 members. Right now, we're at 66. So let's get to 200 paid supporters over there. That'd be amazing if we can do that over at sidescrollers.locals.com. Bowser, I know it's time to go. It's time to go. Guys, go find Arch over on YouTube. The link is in the description. You can go find Grummz over on X, as well as the petition that you need to go sign. The link is down below. We'll put that in the
only
chat.
a couple days left. 26 is the deadline, and then it gets printed off and shipped up to Korea to shipped up offices.
Love that. Arch, you got anything before we wrap?
No, I'm good today.
All right, sounds good. Blabs, you got anything?
I mean, today is day 1 of being monetized on YouTube, so that's cool.
Oh no! And I just dropped so many F-bombs and stuff. Were we past the 30-second window? I'm sorry.
No, it was on my own channel. We're all good.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah. Way to go, Blabs. Love that. All right. Time to get out of here, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Just have a great day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.